Okay, welcome to Liberty Cave, WS7PB, Rick McNamara here. We're at Studio, the square root of -1, also known as Studio Italicized I, the imaginary studio. So what I'm looking at today is my GM-30, which I purchased from Radio Oddity. This is a very new style of GMRS handheld, or I should say model. As you can see, I have adapted its SMA to BNC and added this longer Nagoyo antenna. I have done some work with this in its software, and that means that I've been able to do things like change. Can I get there? What can I do that will make this work for me? No, not gonna show. I've made some changes and in the programming just to make things easier for me to track inside of the repeaters in particular use a different numbering scheme than my Midland 40-watt GMRS mobile unit, and also different number schemes than my RINOs, my Garmin RINOs, of which I have 4. And so this helps me keep track better. It gives me some of the clues that are used on those other radios. I also opened this up to make it possible to listen, not to broadcast, on some of the 2-meter band, and in particular the national calling frequency. I run a 2-meter radio, simplex, and repeater in my Jeep, and this will let me at least listen in if somebody else happens to be driving the Jeep, which does happen, in particular when we're hunting. I like to walk. People I work in the hunting field with like to walk, and so we keep track of each other with GMRS radios. Now my hope with this is that because it has USB charging and switches batteries out in a battery pack, I will be able to keep this one charged easier than the RINOs. The RINOs, I do have one rechargeable battery pack, but it uses 110 volt in a holder, and so I can't really do that in the Jeep. That's at night at home, and when you go home after a day of hunting, you're running gun and you're tired, you forget. It's one more detail to keep track of. I want this to ride on my backpack in a holster I have right behind my head, and this taller antenna should keep me in touch with the rest of the group better. And then the RINOs can be used for their primary purpose, which is tracking, so we know where one another is. Because if somebody says, hey, I'm pushing elk west of me, that's totally useless if you don't know where they are. You may think you know where they are and go there, and you may be east of them. You may north, south. It's 360-degree world. And when they start following tracks, when you're out there following tracks, or even if you're in the vehicle and you scare them and you want to say, hey, I'm at the hairpin corner and they went off downhill, that doesn't mean anything to everybody. The hairpin corner isn't labeled, but your location is in the Garmin GMRS radios, and is broadcast when you do it deliberately. You have to remember to do it. There's going to be new radios, thanks to an FCC ruling, that can automate when it says that tracking data, the way APRS, for one example, does in the ham radio. APRS is largely a 2-meter system, but so that's the purpose of this radio, is to enhance my ability to stay in touch and to have. If I use the Garmin's for transmitting, it does send the signal, but the batteries get used a lot more. It really would be better just to click on the Garmin, send the signal, but then talk on this radio, and I'll have a hand held microphone extension so that the radio can stay back there and I can talk up here, and that should solve some of the things that are trivial to deal with if you remember to deal with them, or if it's not that night when you have something big to deal with. Tire, broken axle, the list is as long as the days that you go hunting. And in particular, elk hunting, if you do it right, you will be working hard. And the radios are a great aid and save time, fuel, money. They enhance our success greatly, but we have to up our game with them, I think. I think that we've found out over the years how important they are and can be when they're firing on all 8 cylinders. And now what we need to do is get them bulletproof so they do fire on all 8 cylinders. So again, Liberty Cave, WS7PB, also WRBS 432 is my GMRS license. And thank you. I hope you can like, maybe subscribe today, and we'll provide more content for you. Happy trails.